Looks like everybody's back.
Yep.
Okay, then let's get on with this rest. Nobody's taking watch. Shit's been dumped into the ring. That's done. Egg is passed the fuck out. He's already rolled his Constitution saving throw. So nobody asked for a wake-up call, and you guys have been on the road for a long time, so you likely slept in a fair bit. By the time you awake the next day, Egg, you have somehow fought off what may have been a murderous hangover, and find yourself just a bit fuzzy and maybe a little light sensitive, but thankfully with the thick canopy of trees, even during daylight, it's not always as bright in the tavern or within the village itself. So you wake to find yourself mostly nude in a private room, well bedecked and just you got what you paid for and maybe a little bit extra. And the light is just beaming in through your window only slightly, but even that is enough to maybe give you a bit of an ache.
Gotcha.
But
Egg
as you
goes to grab the bottle of wine that he ordered for breakfast.
You find it sitting there along with a plate of fresh sausage and some roasted potatoes and what looks to be some sort of local fruit that you've never seen before.
Between cigs, Egg shoves food into his mouth with little chewing.
Mm-hmm. The nice fatty sausage does wonders. The fruit is nice and refreshing and kind of perks you up a bit. And for the most part, the wine's doing its job of, the best hangover temper is more alcohol. So it's not too long before you start feeling like your old self again. There is a soft rap at the door.
Egg goes to answer the door.
Okay. Do you dress?
No.
Okay, so as you throw open the door, the small mousy barmaid from the night previous gasps and covers her eyes and says, "Oh, well, sorry to disturb you. It's just that, it's about time for checkout unless you want to pay for another day."
All right, I'll be out of here in a minute.
She lets you go. Shortly thereafter, the rest of you are awoken by a vicious pounding on the door. And the familiar voice of last night's barkeep rasping through. "Hey, you paying for another day?"
What? What? Who?
It's time to get out, unless you're paying.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll be right out. Oh my god. I can't remember when I slept that deep.
Light filters in just through the window, ever so slightly illuminating the room. It looks like, traditionally, it looks like it might be dawn, but any understanding of thick forest canopies would lead you to believe that it's probably a bit later than that.
Immediately want to check our things.
Everything seems to be where you left it. Including the actually no, at this point the 8 hours would have passed, and so you just have a dagger stabbed into the frame above the window, and the giant's wallet is sitting on the floor.
All right, I'm gonna put the hole against the wall so that you can walk in, and I'm gonna change into my normal gear and traveler's clothing.
Yep, I'm doing the same, getting the armor and stuff on.
Okay. Well, once you guys have all that finished, I presume you meet back down at the bar. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As you head down, it is actually quite a bit livelier in the morning. It seems as though a large portion of the village comes here to eat, at least in some regard, as the innkeep seems to have a sizable larder at least stashed somewhere in this tree. There are several tables full of villagers, some of them just regular old villagers, a couple of faces you recognize from the night previous, such as Leah and Tulip, and otherwise just tables full of food. It smells heavenly to anybody that hasn't eaten a fine meal in some time. The barkeep notices you come down. He says, "Ah, late sleepers, all of you. Will you be joining us for breakfast? A modest 3 silver each.
I'm down.
Yep, definitely.
I'll plop down 2 gold and say, use the change for more ale.
So the girl comes by and sweeps it up expertly, and soon your table is loaded with like game bird, sausage, several local fruits, just various foodstuffs. You paid for an exquisite meal, and so they provide one.
Awesome.
When Egg gathered all his stuff up, was it all there?
Yes.
Okay, then he will leave 2 gold pieces as a tip in the room,
Okay.
and then head upstairs
How
as
generous.
well.
Was there a bathroom anywhere in the inn? Or are they like attached to the
No.
rooms?
You need to go down to the bottom for that. Or I suppose Eggs had one, but you guys didn't.
I'll ask the innkeeper where the loo is.
He hooks his thumb to like an area behind him, and if you head out there, you'll see it's a very small lift that leads to another tree, and you can presume that tree contains the facilities.
I will head that way.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
What are you slaying?
Everyone is surprised at how fresh and refreshed Egg looks, but he is
Yeah.
still nursing his bottle of wine.
So, Egg, you sit down to eat with us then, and like catch up?
Yeah, well, he's not eating because he's already eaten.
Well, yeah,
but
you're sitting with us, so.
He's sitting with us and sipping
Okay.
wine. Occasionally.
We quietly fill Egg in on the events of the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
The last thing that Egg remembers is getting in the lift to go up the tree.
All right, fair enough. So the most important thing is I think we need to look into finding medicine for this plague they say might be in our way on the way to our visit.
Sounds
We
like
should
you're-
also get winter gear. And maybe talk to an elder about the central ward.
Looking around the room, are those figures that we talked to the House of Scales people
4?
around? Yeah.
No, they
They're
are
not
not
around.
here.
Okay.
Are there any persons in the inn that look old and wrinkled as an elder would look, as described by Leah and Tulip?
Funny you should ask. Actually, in a corner table off near the kitchen itself is a group of 4 elderly folks. A trio of women and an older man. They are very wrinkled, bedecked with age spots. All 4 of them sporting some sort of white facial hair, and just all manner of sag.
All manner of sag. Maybe
They
we
seem
should
to be
start with them.
They seem to be enjoying a game of dice of some sort, and quietly, celebrating their summer sausage or fall sausage, I guess.
Yeah.
The last of the summer sausage.
Yeah.
Well, should we go talk to them?
I think so, yeah. Indeed.
Okay, so the 4 of you, or the 3 of you, head that way since Lavinia is otherwise indisposed. And they all look up from their game of dice, except for one who's still busy rolling. And you notice that he notices that nobody else is looking, and you see him tip one of his dice to perhaps a more favorable result before looking at him and says, "Oh, newcomers! Always good to see fresh faces in Treetop. What can we do for you?" When did you
Good-
arrive, and by what way?
Good morning. We're new factors to the area, and we arrived last night by way of Redshore.
Oh, we heard no news of your coming.
Oh well,
It's strange that you managed to slip past the rangers and patrol.
I'm afraid we were wandering around quite a fair bit and weren't able to send word of our coming on ahead.
Again, still strange that none of the village patrol noticed your coming, but still, stranger things have happened. What can we do for you? What brings you to our fine village?
Well, this is our first time in Treetop, and we're quite impressed with how prosperous and large your village is.
Oh, we have been blessed and fortunate over the years. We try to do our best to send the profits and our gains to assist the other villages as much as possible. But truly, being so close to so close to the coast, and with such blessings as a number of factors that arrive on the shore nearby, we are perhaps bountiful in our resources.
Of
And
course.
of course, as I'm sure you likely don't know, not being from here, we were those who were fortunate enough to absorb the refugees from Twin River Valley after its unfortunate destruction.
Oh, well, hence your larger population, I suppose.
Of course.
Um, being new to the area and obviously interested in such things, we were impressed at how highly everyone speaks of your central ward, and we're wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about it.
Oh, it's a bit of a point of pride of ours, but as I'm sure you're aware, we can't just go spilling secrets. Wouldn't want those to fall into the wrong hands.
No, certainly not. We also had some questions about a plague of sorts that we've heard of that's going on in the eastern to the east in the woods.
A dreadful thing that, yes, there's a chap who tends to those woods out by himself. Goes by the name of Eldrick. So Eldrick's woods to the east. Yes. It seems recently they have fallen under some sort of malady, though we've not heard from young Eldrick in some time. So we couldn't tell you much more than that. A few villagers came in, loggers they were, building new houses for Treetop, and it seems their wounds had gone a fester, and we were unable to heal them.
Do you have any idea what type of plague this is? Like, what were their wounds like?
Oh, just, even a small nick or a cut from a splinter gained from logging. It just festered and grew, and no amount of medicinal herb or magic that we attempted seemed to be able to remedy it.
Did these
Great.
men die?
Unfortunately, yes. Their bodies were burned to keep the plague from spreading. And of course, with the Death Singer out of commission, well, that seems to be all we can do anymore.
Indeed. Do you know much about his disappearance?
Only that a fairly large group of factors arrived shortly before he disappeared, and our only guess is that perhaps they were misled as to the nature of the being called the Death Singer and may have taken unfortunate action. Not the first time it's happened, but hopefully his return will be swift.
Would this large group, would they happen to have been from New Atnos?
Oh, that was the rumor, as it were.
So you think that they may have attacked the Death Singer?
It's certainly possible. We
Wow.
shouldn't say more in such open company, but we would be happy to discuss it in private.
What motivation would they have for such a thing anyway?
Again, we would be happy to
Oh.
discuss such concerns in private.
Indeed.
Where or when may we meet you in private to discuss this?
Well, there is a council meeting this afternoon with Chief Kuwot. We could perhaps meet with you after that.
It would be our pleasure.
Will you be staying for the Harvest Festival?
When is that?
Oh, just 3 moons. If you're unfamiliar, that would be 3 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
We may be in the area at that time. We have some business that might draw us away, however.
Mhm.
Our future is unclear.
Very well. Well, if there's nothing else, we would just as soon get back to our dice and breakfast.
Very well. We'll see you later this afternoon.
Of course, kind factors. Simply, you'll find us at the village center.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
They
we'll
go
our
back to
table
they go
while-
back to their game, and you see the 3 women look down and all throw up their hands in exasperation and push the coins that they were using all towards the gentleman.
Okay, so we'll regroup at a table again, I guess, while we wait
Mhm.
I
for
mean, your
Beldam?
table is still there.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yes, I presume Beldam has finished her ablutions and returned by this point.
Hey, I was hiding in the bathroom to cast Identify as a ritual again. So I was gone
Uh-huh.
for a suspect amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was using it on the ring again.
Okay. I mean, it seems to be awaiting an imprint.
Which to use? I'm going to go and cast Counterspell into it.
Okay. You cast counterspell at the ring, and the ring isn't casting. Or rather, you're trying to like put the
Yes,
put the magic.
put the spell into the ring.
Oh, the ring doesn't take.
Hmm.
Upon further study, you feel as though perhaps it is awaiting the imprint of a magical effect.
Of a magical effect. Well, nothing I can do with that right now.
Okay. You head back.
Yeah.
All right. Madame Beldam shows up to find the group mostly through breakfast.
Yeah, I guess we just tell her to have a seat and we'll explain about the elder stuff.
Quietly.
Yes.
I guess Beldam, if she's feeling okay. She took so long in the bathroom. Offers her some wine. He's been drinking straight from the bottle.
Yeah, so there's about a tenth of a bottle of wine left, and he's offering it to you.
I'm quite all right, thank you.
I think we need to learn more about this plague first and foremost if we're go do our meetup and chat or whatever. It sounds like it's going to be a problem. So maybe we should meet with whatever the village has in terms of like medical personnel. Maybe somebody who has seen it firsthand. Get some more information about type of wounds. Maybe we could track down any information at all. Because as it stands, I'm not too keen to go east currently.
Well, I'm a little bit confused because the factors told us to take medicine with us into the woods, and yet the elders are saying that none of the medicine worked.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, those factors could have been lying to us.
That's true.
I'd like to ask somebody that looks like an official, like a guard or something, like where the sick would be taken, so I could ask about this from a professional in the area.
Sure. Let's say you can find somebody that meets that description, and you kind of ask, and they're like, oh, well, there is a medical tree where the healers and those who are studied in medicinal arts tend to spend their time. That would be your best bet, a sort of hospital, as it were.
Okay.
I want to ask the innkeeper what kind of shops they have in the village.
He just says, whatever you're looking for, they can likely provide it, and if not, they'll let you know. But first, you got to tell them what you're looking for.
A shop that sells general goods, supplies for travel. I don't know,
Oh.
maybe if you have a
Clothes.
shop that sells magical items.
Oh, certainly not the latter, but the former can be arranged. No, any magical items that pass through here are typically passed along to then a town or a city, and since we are without those, we tend to send most factors with a surplus away.
Where do you send them?
Oh, to a neighboring township or city.
Do you by chance have any enchanters in town?
No. The only persons of any magical persuasion that consider themselves to be a part of the town are the elders themselves. And none of them are what you would consider to be an enchanter.
Okay. I have finished eating, so I'm gonna actually look for these people to talk about the plague. If anybody wants to come with me, they can.
The patrolman pointed you in the direction of the hospital, so.
Yeah, I'll start
Yeah.
walking there, and anybody who wants to come can come, or not.
We're
I
gonna
will
split up.
go with him.
Two
It
of us
sound-
go do shopping, and then two go to
It-
the hospital.
Sounds like the group is splitting.
Meet back at the town center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Udinar and Egg are going to the hospital, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we should have one magical person go in each direction so that we can have all of our bases covered.
I don't see how that changes anything,
Fine.
because
Maybe they're going shopping.
Udinar is magic.
Never mind.
Yeah. So, Udinar and Egg make their way to what they believe is the hospital. As you arrive, you find yourself at a very small section of buildings externally built onto a tree, and it looks like maybe 2 or 3 small houses that have been converted into a place where the sick might be kept. When you arrive, you find several, like 3 or 4 young persons in, white garb attending to what look to be two or three sick persons. One of them is an elderly infirm. Another looks like a worker who has, recently had an accident. They've got a couple of broken bones, and then there's one off in the corner that occasionally hacks and coughs.
Is there anyone working like a healer that isn't in the middle of doing something?
When you arrive, there's a young man who approaches you and asks how he can assist you, and if something, if you have encountered something that they need to attend to.
Not currently, no. We're looking for more prevention. We're due to head east soon, and we hear there's a bad plague.
Well, plague is one way to put it, yes, but I don't know what to tell you other than those that travel east would be best not to incur any sort of wound. What business do you have that direction?
We're going to go meet with an old friend of ours.
You must mean Eldrick.
Indeed.
Then
Mhm.
the best advice I can tell you is to travel under cover of light and Stay on the path as much as possible and don't invoke the ire of anything with ire to invoke.
Have you seen these wounds firsthand?
Only the village elders have dealt with the infected. Being that they are those who possess magic in the healing persuasion, they were able to best protect themselves from catching it in case it were infectious or contagious.
Hmm.
Do you know the symptoms of this sickness?
Well, according to the elders, it was the wounds that the afflicted had could not be healed by any means that was tried.
Gotcha.
How long ago was
Sounds
the last
bad.
patient?
Maybe a week or two.
And none currently, then.
No, nobody else has gone east.
Right.
We suspended all logging operation to the east of here immediately.
Okay. Okay, well, you've been somewhat helpful, so thank you.
Of course, if there's nothing else, then I'll get back to my duties.
There's nothing else from me.
No, we're good.
Cool.
We
Okay.
got the info.
Okay. Shopping! What are you looking for? Just the general store?
We'll
Yep.
start with a general store and then we might go somewhere else.
Okay. You ask for directions and are pointed to what is basically a shopping square. It is a large tree with several buildings that are built around it. And like every building in the three spiraling layers seems to be a shop of some sort. So you find your way to a general trader closest to the bottom. In fact, he has a direct lift to the ground.
Hmm.
So, madam, I'm thinking that while we're here, we should consider getting some shelving units and weapon racks and things for the hole. What do you
Well,
think?
if we just got some decent wood, don't you think Egg would be able to put it together himself?
I don't know. I mean,
Probably be cheaper than having them built for us.
that's true. They probably have plenty of lumber around here anyway.
I'd be surprised if they didn't.
We'd
So-
have to get tools too, though. Oh wait, no, Egg has woodworking tools, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe just buy some more nails for him.
Sure.
So what's on our shopping list?
Well, I think we should get winter clothing for everyone because it is getting cooler at night. If we're not gonna keep lighting fires, we don't want to freeze. Let's see.
Okay.
What else? How's everybody doing on torches?
Well, considering that two people aren't there and can't answer,
And they're the two that
That
actually
can't see
use
in the
them.
dark. Well, we'll pick up a dozen torches too, probably.
we should
Just to
probably
be
get
safe.
some tents as well.
Oh, tents, yep. All right, I'm just gonna write this down. Tents, torches, wood,
Are we good on rope?
nails.
Are we good on rope?
Last time I think we had like about what was it? 260 feet in rope. Right?
Wouldn't hurt to buy more.
All right, let's get 100 more feet of rope.
okay. You want silk or hemp?
Probably hempen, I should think, right?
Yeah.
That's what everybody's got. Winter clothes.
We get a couple of locks.
Yeah, sure. Locks. With keys.
They come with the key.
Yeah.
I'm putting it in there so we don't forget. I don't want to get a lock with no key.
A grappling hook?
Sure. We also need a 10-foot pole. 10-foot pole. Let's see, what else?
What about a 10-foot ladder to crawl down into the
Yep.
pit?
Yep. All good. 10-foot ladder.
Probably some vials as well.
Oh, yeah, we ran out of vials, didn't we? Let's get a dozen vials. Let's see.
Probably want to pick up some more rations too.
Yeah, we don't know if we'll always have the good berries to fall back on. How many rations per person? Maybe 10, so like a total of 40 rations. Right?
Sure. Each ration
Sure.
is like 1 day's worth.
Yeah. That would be good 10 days. Are we gonna assume that Egg can make chests with the wood for holding like gold and treasure and stuff? Or we want to try to buy a chest? Because I think we have the one chest that's already in there, right? But it's already
Yeah,
full.
but that's kind of full.
Yeah.
Probably like some cooking tools as well.
Well, don't we kind of already have that in our mess kits?
No, there's actual like cook's utensils
Mm.
as a tool item. I think we've just been kind of putting stuff over fire to cook it.
A mess kit is a tin box with a cup and simple cutlery. One side can be used as a cooking pan, and the other as a plate or shallow bowl. And then there are cook's
Yeah.
utensils.
Vague cooking pans in our mess kit.
Might as well like get the official stuff so we have some spices and whatnot.
All right. Well, we can get cook's tools.
Some soap, maybe.
What would we need soap for?
Considering we've taken one bath in how long?
Fair. All right. Soap. Let's also think about when I'm gonna add boots to the winter clothes list.
That's part of winter clothing.
Okay. What else?
Should probably see if anyone in town makes potions.
Okay. So I'll put potions ?
Okay.
Do we want to think about mounts at all? Or are we good on foot? Actually, let's stick with on foot because it didn't go so well for us when we had him out last time.
I mean, it was going fine until we left it.
Well, we didn't leave it so much as we were involuntarily removed from it.
Should probably get a shovel just in case.
You have a shovel.
Well,
Do
yeah,
we?
but that's
okay.
good in our shovel.
That's a beaten shovel, not a digging shovel.
I don't know the difference.
Until he tells you, I'm not going to dig a hole with it.
Yeah.
I'll just get another shovel just in case.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm just looking at this list of adventuring gear, trying to see
Yeah, me
what
too.
else we might need. Should we just get a whole bunch of ball bearings?
Give me a reason why we would need ball bearings.
Spread them around our cap?
And then
If
we
we'll
have to pick
trip
them
on it?
up.
Big
No,
home,
you just-
Home Alone style
Just leave
traps.
'em. I mean, we already have 1,000 from chain. You never know. Ball bearings could be useful. I guess I'll inquire how many ball bearings they have on hand.
You can buy a bag of ball bearings.
Only one bag? All right, add it to
Uh,
the cart.
Well, he can. Let's say he's got 5 bags.
Absolutely.
All right.
5,000 ball bearings.
Okay.
And approximately how many potions would you like?
Oh, does he actually have them?
No, but there is somebody who does.
Okay.
Well, it would depend on what kind of potions they are.
They're just potions of healing.
You want to
Only
get
that weak shit?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a village. That they even have them is a miracle.
Okay. How many do they have?
Let's see. 3.
We'll take
Well-
all 3.
Yep.
Okay. Your tab right now is 280 gold, 7 silver, and 4 copper.
I think that's probably enough.
That's assuming 2 tents, 4
Yeah.
sets of winter clothing, 40 rations, ladder, pole, 3 vials.
Oh, we can't get 12 vials?
Oh, do you want 12? Yeah, sure. The,
Well,
the alchemist can.
Let's do 6. Let's do 6 vials.
That makes you 285 gold, 2 silver, 4 copper.
I guess when we find some privacy, we'll just pull it out of the chest. Which we still don't know how much total is in there.
Well, we know that it's many pounds in weight of gold. I'm sure that we
Yeah.
have enough. Okay, so that's what we'll buy.
Okay.
So one of us can just make the excuse and run out and come back with the gold from the pit, as it were.
So 50
Now-
coins is a pound. So we'd be, subtracting 5 pounds from that chest?
Well, the scholar's bag too also had that 220 in there.
Yeah, that's like my money that I've been
Oh, okay,
pulling out
sorry.
of.
My B.
So that chest was how much? Like 400?
It was like
20
400
some
pounds.
Somebody should know. Should be written down.
I have it somewhere.
Well, because we took some weight out of it and put it into Chain's bag.
Pounds
he was empty.
originally.
Huh?
It was 400 originally.
Yeah.
So we'll say 395 pounds
Okay.
of coins left.
50 coins weighs a pound. Yep.
Okay. So are we all meeting up now?
I guess so.
All right, everybody add winter clothes and 10 rations to your inventory. And then we have 3 healing potions to divvy up too. I already have 1. So does anybody not have a healing potion?
Beldam doesn't have any.
And I
No,
still have
used mine
2,
too.
so
I think Beldam should just get the 3.
Because she's squishy.
Well, you
Yeah.
could give 2 to Beldam and 1 to Pedalin, then they both have 2.
Oh yeah,
All right.
that too.
Sounds-
That works.
The alchemist is greatly pleased to have sold his 3 healing potions.
Good. Capitalism, baby.
Does the alchemist have any other weird potions?
No, just basic rubs and bandages and salves, and for the most part, he's an experimenter and doesn't always get it right. But when the materials come in, he can brew the healing potions.
Okay, now we have an additional 12 torches. Do we want to leave those in the pit, or does anybody want to carry those?
I'll take
Pit
2.
it is. Oh,
I'll
you
take
want
2 to make 5 total for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Jane,
have-
you have the ring, so we can leave the other 10.
I
here?
have the ring now.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have wood and nails to make shelving units for the pit. Egg, do you want to go ahead and? wait
Oh,
to
I
do
didn't
that
price out your
later,
wood
or-
and nails
Oh, okay. Well,
because you didn't tell me how much you wanted. How many
Yeah,
shelves do you want to
that's true.
make?
we probably need at least 1 standard unit. So like 3 feet across, 1 foot deep, and maybe 7 feet tall.
Okay, so
Or we can do it in like wall shelves, but I don't know if they can attach to the walls.
Probably not.
you want to build a bookcase.
Well, do we want to build a bookcase or do we want to build chests?
Now that Egg is there, he can likely tell you that he can do it, but it will take time.
Yep.
Yeah,
Time.
And-
we're not in a
Time
rush.
is money, friend.
All right. So it'll take you about 3 days, 3 to 6 days per chest.
It's gonna take a while to build chests.
How much does a chest cost?
Building like a wood for it.
If we bought a chest, how much
Oh.
would that be?
5, 6, 7 gold.
Let's just buy like 2 more chests and then we'll have like a chest for like items, a chest for weapons, and then a chest for treasure. Everybody cool with that? And then we don't have to
Well, this
waste 2
chests
weeks
fit-
waiting
fit-
for chests to be built.
Do those chests fit in the hole comfortably? Of
I
those
don't know.
size?
Let's see. Chest. No, not bookmark. Find. It'll hold. The average chest will fit 12 cubic feet or 300 pounds of gear. So it should.
Okay. Then
Because
that sounds fine.
it's
I mean-
it's 6 feet across and 10 feet deep. So it will just fit.
Or we can buy 1 chest and then he can build a weapon rack so that that's a little bit more upright, saves a little bit more space. Because don't we have a shit ton of weapons in there?
Well, Egg has a shit ton of weapons.
Yeah, I
now.
have a shit ton of weapons on my back.
I guess it's up to Egg whether or not he wants to just keep carrying them or if he wants to put them in the pit.
I kind of like carrying them.
Okay, so we'll just buy one chest, and we'll have the one chest for items and the one for money.
Because also, they don't really matter. If I have to get rid of them, it's fine.
Okay. So, what was it? A chest was 7 gold?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'll pay for that myself. There we go. Now we have another large chest in the hole. Gonna label it gear chest. Okay. I think shopping is completed unless there was something else that anybody else wanted.
Nope.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, I think I'm good.
It was the resounding sound of silence.
I'm guessing by this time the elders might have had their meeting.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, well, I am in the center where we said we would meet, I suppose, so I'll just wait around.
Okay.
I'll people
Everybody
watch for a
else?
bit.
Everybody else? Don't everybody
Yeah.
speak up at once.
I'm ready to just head to where we're gonna meet them and wait.
That's
Okay.
where I am.
Me too.
So I'm guessing you and I probably just went there together.
Yep.
Okay. Madam Beldam and Pedalin.
I mean, were there any other shops of interest since there were multiple? We'll just
Not-
roll
I mean-
for like a quick.
There's no magic
Okay.
items, if that's what you're looking for.
No, I know that. Just. Who
I mean,
knows what
there's
you can
there's a general trader, there's a blacksmith, there's down on the bottom there's somebody who deals in stables. You've got a tailor and weaver. You've got the apothecary and alchemist. There is a dye shop. A brass smith and a silversmith. So, as Udinar and Egg people watch, you'll notice that this village is actually quite active and busy. They do have the population of a small town, by all accounts and standards, but for all intents and purposes, otherwise they do maintain that village atmosphere. Everybody seems to know everybody. Everybody recognizes that you're outsiders and you're not from here. Most people are very pleasant with you and thank you for being factors and help keep the villages safe. They ask for what news from the outside, since most villagers don't leave the village. Just that kind of thing. They're just a friendly bunch.
Have I noticed any shady characters that I might have talked to the night before at all in the crowd?
Are you looking for the 4 factors that you suspect are part of the House of Scales?
I
Um,
am.
despite your keen eye, no such characters have made an appearance.
Okay.
I guess everybody else eventually shows up at the town center.
Okay.
You are approached by a young man, maybe in his early teens, and says, excuse me, are you the group that's supposed to meet with the elders?
Yeah, that would be us.
Okay. Because you did look a bit lost, and you definitely are out of town, and that's kind of the description I got, so off with me. He seems bored of his job as any teenager might, but leads you to a small private tree off, like almost off on its own, just behind the larger city center one, and leads you to a small hut within where a thick, heavy incense is burning. And as you enter, you spot the four elders all seated around a glowing pile of embers. One of the women is currently pouring what looks to be a sort of perfumed liquid into it, and it wafts into the air with steam. They welcome you as you enter and bid you take a seat.
Yeah, I do so.
Same.
Madam Beldam, the scent of the incense is intimately familiar to you. It almost feels as though you're dreaming.
Hmm.
Everybody in, taking a seat?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The elders sit back and watch you as though waiting for you to begin the conversation.
I'm trying to think of where to even start this
Let's
conversation.
start with the plague. What is it?
Yeah.
Extreme
Okay.
nature. We inquired at the hospital, but they said that you would know more about it.
Didn't you guys ask them about it at the bar?
I didn't remember if
Yeah,
that
but
was one of
they-
the things they said they couldn't talk about there.
Yeah, they didn't
Oh.
want to talk about it in public.
Well, the nature of the plague itself seems to be magical in some effect. As you may have sussed out, or perhaps not, we are the only magic users in the village, and well, at least the only regulars, the only locals. Despite our best efforts, we were unable to combat the effects of the spreading disease or plague, whatever it happens to be or call itself. We noticed on the afflicted that wherever they were wounded, the wounds simply grew over time, and no efforts made could abate or stop or even slow the progress. And those who were afflicted simply just suffered day in and day out, and begged for us to end their suffering. And after we surmised that there was nothing we could do, well, we bid them farewell and let them go.
Gotcha.
Their bodies were burned and their ashes dumped far from the village itself.
You believe these wounds to be of necrotic nature then?
Well, we're not so studious in magic to label it that, but just that no matter what we did, the wounds didn't heal. Not that we're the most capable users of magic, but there has yet to be a case that has come through our village that we have been unable to at least aid.
And the victims of this, they show any other symptoms other than the wounds?
No, simply the wounds themselves were infected. One of them mentioned a pale steed in his fevered fits.
A horse
Yeah.
that they should be aware of.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Oh, in our talkings with other adventurers the night before, someone else had made mention of a steed to be aware of.
There are people in this village that have been into the woods and are here. They seem a bit panicked.
They don't seem to have gone into the woods, which is why we kind of didn't heed their advice at first.
I see. This is cause for concern. How many would you say there were?
4.
They all look at one another as though sharing some bit of unspoken information and nod. Very well, thank you for bringing this information to us. Was there anything else?
Are you aware? I'm just going to push this a little further and say, you are aware of the 4 I mentioned then?
We know of everybody who spends time in the village.
Tangentially related, have you heard of the House of Scales?
No, the name has never crossed our ears.
Okay. Just wondering if maybe you had some information on them. Trying to find out a little bit themselves.
Pedalin and Madame Beldam, you can't get a good read, but you don't sense any deception in their words.
We
Did that
understand that no one has seen or heard from Eldrick in a year.
That's right.
Do you have any reason to think that he may have come to harm or went, was hurt? What was he doing last year before he went missing?
Well, Eldrick traded with the village and brought news and occasionally visited with the relic. But no, we believe if he's come to harm, then it may have something to do with the plague in his woods. But given that it's been so long, we had thought he may have simply moved on.
So the plague's occurrence doesn't seem to have coincided with his disappearance.
No, it's a more recent thing, perhaps a month or more.
Are you aware of his studies of Spira?
We understand that Eldrick has met with the so-called leader of the native druids to our region, Grills. And we understand that Grills has interest in the living city, and it would only make sense that he would seek Eldrick out.
You happen to know why he would have interest in what almost seems like a fairy tale?
Well, we aren't sure. Are you familiar with Grills?
I've heard
We've
the
met.
name.
Okay, so one of you has met him and another has heard of him, which is true.
Well, I've met him. Udnar hasn't.
I see. Well, begins one, and another chimes in. Grills is not from here. He hails from a land far to the south. And when he arrived, those who warded the natural world were mostly confined to factors. But as he gained more of a foothold and more of an understanding of our quaint little island of Nightfall, he grew more and more interested in the legends of the city of Spira. And as more grew to his, to more were drawn to grow his flock, and the wilder druids did increase in power, so too did the interest in the old legend of the living city. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, you did mention you came from Redshore. We do still employ a limited number of pixies and silent suns, and their origins began when the city of Spira disappeared. But again, it's a legend so old that, well, it's almost as old as the Sundering itself.
Indeed. Seems like a fool's errand to try to bring back a legend.
We would tend to agree with you, yes.
But say this Grills or whoever would be able to. What is Spira? Like, why did it disappear in the first place?
As for what the city is, it's not our place to discuss. Certainly not with strangers, as kind as you may seem, or good-intentioned. But its disappearance is as much a mystery to us as it is to anyone else.
So in some
Let
way...
me just ask you this. Without getting it too deep into what Spirit is, do you think it would be good if it came back?
Well, none of us were alive, so we couldn't tell you.
Indeed. About the Death Singer's disappearance.
Yes.
You had made mention that it seems like there would be people seeking to, I don't know, hunt him down. Do you know why?
Have you ever heard of a lich?
I will ask you out of character. What did my character have?
I'd say Udinar certainly has.
Okay.
Madame Beldam might have, but I don't think Petalin or... Yes, Madame Beldam has. I don't think Petalin or Egg, unless they want to roll exceptionally well with their intelligence checks.
I'll roll just for the. Yeah, no.
No to Petalin and no to Egg.
I have heard of the term, yes.
Well, it would seem, though we have never met, that the Death Singer is one. Cursed by his former lover to live eternally, it seemed as though he took to the solitude and the everlasting life with a certain fervor. What he had done while living, he now does in undeath, or, living the bridge between, serving as a sort of arbiter and ferryman for those who have died, ensuring that they stay that way. Of course, liches are purported to come with great power and great relics, so those who hear of the Death Singer and of his true nature may be driven to, well, destroy him. Only, as it turns out, it can be quite difficult to destroy somebody of that persuasion. It's not the first time it's happened, but we believe that a group came through that may have encountered and at least impeded in his ability to continue living or unliving, and it will be a matter of time, but he'll come back.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they, were to destroy the very nature of what he is, in which case, no, the Death Singer is permanently gone, and that is a grave cause of alarm.
Indeed.
About how long ago was it that the undead ceased to stay dead?
I don't remember the exact time frame, so let's just say about 3 days before, like around 3 days, like within a 3-day period of when you guys originally met Ed.
Gotcha.
So was that like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah,
like that?
kind of recent, for sure.
Yeah.
It seems strange that an entity such as the Death Singer, so old in nature, would just recently be hunted down.
Oh, it's not, as we mentioned, it's not the first time it's happened.
Yeah.
We don't truly understand the nature of such beings, but it is our understanding that they do have some means of regeneration, and so as such, we are not immediately concerned and expect that his return should be forthcoming soon. Hopefully, says another.
Indeed.
Do you know what the time frame was the previous time this happened?
No, not truly. The dead rose and roamed for about 2 months, and then suddenly it stopped. We can't say for certain. Either a new creature came along to take up the role. Again, we haven't ever met the Death Singer, and took up the name and the role, or the creature itself reformed.
What can you tell about this group that came by around the time of his disappearance?
They were a large group, arrived by ship. Said to have come from the south half of the continent. Maybe 10 or 12 of them said they had heard rumors of some great and powerful being nearby. At the time, we didn't connect the two, as I'm sure you're aware as factors. Great and powerful beings tend to spring up now and then in various places in the world, especially as factors go digging deeper and deeper and awaken things older and older, and more finds its way, especially with the return of magic.
Indeed. one final thing for me, and then if anybody else has anything, they can talk after. Not to pry, but I hear the relic used in your warding process here is very strong, and I would like to hear more about it, just so we can help ensure our hometowns are able to also be in such a prosperous state.
You have not yet earned the trust of the village for us to enable such an encounter. As
What
it
could
is
I-
the core ward, as it is the core ward of the village, and it has sustained us for as long and as well as it has.
You cut out there.
Oh, where did I cut out? Am I still cutting out?
No, you're fine.
Okay. As it is the core ward of the village, and it has sustained us for as well as long as it has. It's not a courtesy that we grant to any visitor of the village, lest it is in need of repair, and even then we would likely seek out a wilder druid before a factor that is unknown to us.
Indeed. Do you have anything we could do to prove to you your trust or loyalty?
If
Or
your
our
motive
loyalty?
is to gain trust,
Mhm.
then your actions are for the wrong reasons and would, in effect, not gain that trust. We ask simply that you aid the village in the best way that you can, and as it is now, that is by not interfering or interacting with our core ward.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I don't think we have anything particularly pressing.
Nope.
Okay.
Not that I
Then
can think of.
the village elders will thank you for your time and usher you on out.
Okay. Cool.
A perception check before you leave, I suppose.
Okay.
Everybody then. So as you're getting up to leave, one of the elders moves and turns behind them to grab another bottle of that fragrant liquid. And as they do so, you notice that there on a table behind him is a strange plant you haven't seen before. It's like a lichen with purple bulbs on it. And it seems to be growing across the table itself. And just it stands out to you as peculiar because that's not typically where a lichen would grow, and typically lichen don't have little bulbs on them.
All right. So I guess we leave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the way out, I'll just say, as soon as we know more about Eldrick, we will report back for your records.
So we appreciate it.
Okay, so I guess we should just meet up somewhere. Maybe have a drink and talk about our next step.
Oh, sorry, I gave the wrong description. It is a purple lichen with small blue bulbs. There. Okay, what was your question, Paul? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that as a group, we should get together somewhere, maybe have some ale, and talk about our next step.
Sure.
Agreed.
Okie dokie pokies. Let's head on back to the tavern.
What's the
you'll-
name of the tavern?
The tavern.
Does it have one?
Treetop Tavern. It is largely emptied.
All right. Okay. We need to find out what's going on with this Death Singer thing. I'm not exactly sure where to go from here, though.
Well, they said that he would probably be back.
Hmm.
I mean, if this has happened before.
Probably is not good enough for me.
If he truly is a lich, there's not much we can do.
Yeah,
All we can
What is
hope
a
is that
lich
his
anyway?
I need more information.
Is it like a leech?
with my previous intelligence roll, like, would I know the details of how liches function?
Let's say that you have a considerable understanding of what a lich is based off of some of your studies in becoming a wizardess.
Okay.
So I would know though, right? Or no?
I would say that you understand fundamentally what a lich is, but Lavinia has a better understanding of what, like a little bit of a better conceptual understanding. Like Lavinia is more learned, and you're just more like, this is what a lich is. Does that make sense?
I mean, without getting
so,
too
like,
metagamey, do I know about phylacteries?
No.
Okay.
You would not have that knowledge, but Lavinia would.
Gotcha. Okay.
Liches are powerful spellcasters, undead, and typically spend years building their power. They can only truly be killed if their phylactery is destroyed. Because of that, they keep it hidden away, and that's their means of coming back to life. So long as the phylactery of theirs stays unharmed, they're able to come back. How long it takes them, that differs between liches, and there's no real way to know.
So I'm under the assumption that whoever hunted down the Death Singer is also looking for that.
That would be a powerful magical relic.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you think they killed him and then they're looking for this relic? He wouldn't have it on his person?
He would
No,
not
due
have
to
it
the
on his
nature of the
person.
item, they try and hide it away.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have that means to return to undead life.
So, Udinar, you want to go after this relic ourselves?
Not necessarily go after so much as protect it, but yeah, if that means us doing something to ensure the Death Singer comes back, then yes, that's what I feel is important.
We wouldn't even know where to begin.
Exactly.
All we know is the Death Singer's domain was near Red Shore.
Actually, you should know, but it was a drop in the bucket of information.
Well, we know that the people that were going after him were from New Atnos. And we know about the time that they went missing.
Mm-hmm.
Or about the time that he went missing, which was before we went to the elemental temple, was when Summer first noticed that he wasn't where he should have been. So that was about a month ago.
And there were some casual offhand mentions from a certain blacksmith and merchant, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. And some factors cleaned him out.
Sorry, what?
Oh, the factors had cleaned out his inventory
Mm-hmm.
before we got there.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently everybody knows about the Darlings, and yet the Death Singer's nowhere to be seen.
Well, what would those two things have to do with each other?
What do you mean? The Death Singer and his young wife, beautiful wife, they're the Darlings.
What?
Or that's how they were known to me.
What?
This is new information.
My brain is leaking out my ears right now.
How is this new information? It's been centuries.
No one knows who the Darlings are, really. Just that they're supposed to be the best factors around.
And people casually mentioning that they're back means it's weird that one of them, the most important one, is missing. So, do we have any leads?
Wait, but you're saying the darlings were a pair?
Well, we've already known the darlings were a pair.
Yeah, the Destiner was a magic user, bard person, and he traveled and worked with his, what I'm assuming is girlfriend or wife, and they were known as the Darlings.
But didn't we have information that William of Wheaton was a darling as well?
Yeah, it's in the thief
Yeah.
contract. Here, I'll pull it out of my thing here. Yeah, William the Godslayer, former darling. And we met him, and he wasn't. I mean, he seemed alive and
He was
fat
creepy,
and
but
normal.
he was not a.
He wasn't.
Appeared to be undead, though he is a powerful lizard. He could have been fooling us, I guess.
It sounded like you said powerful lizard.
Yeah, it did. This William of Wheaton, how is his singing voice?
Singing voice.
Yeah.
He didn't sing for us.
Oh,
He
shame.
was no bard.
He did want
Okay.
us to turn a village into automatons for him.
No, which does sound
That-
very lichy.
I don't much care for that.
But he doesn't live anywhere near here.
Okay, so this is not a lead then? I'm confused now.
Well, we're confused too.
Yeah.
If the Death Singer's supposed to be a darling, then how could William of Wheaton have been a darling?
Well, it's a former darling, so perhaps the membership of the darlings has changed since Udinar's time.
Maybe. Maybe it's just like a title that passes around.
I also think it's worth mentioning there was a creature that might match the description of a lich at the party we were at.
But there can be more than one lich in the world.
It's true. But I've
You
only
would've-
heard about one lich living in this area.
Well, considering that that mansion doesn't exist anywhere in this area, he could have come from anywhere to
That's true.
reach the mansion. I mean, you saw that portal thing that just sucked the star spawn into it. Heaven only knows how that works.
I've just put out the information we have that I know of. We don't really have any actual leads for how to go about tracking down the Death Singer currently. I think, except Ed might have said something that I don't remember. Other than that.
So I'm going to ask a question. Do you guys want me to repeat what Ed said, or do you want to, like, because from where I'm sitting, my outlook on it is that it was a dropped comment that if you picked up on it, I was willing to give more information. But since nobody really took that to mean anything, I would assume your characters didn't take that to mean anything. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, do you want me to just tell you what he said again, or are you okay with your characters not remembering it because you don't remember it because nobody thought it was important?
I'm
Yeah,
okay with not knowing.
Egg. Yeah, I'm okay with Egg not remembering.
I mean, I want him to repeat it just so that we have a lead, but
How long ago would that have been? Because, like, for us in real life, it was probably like 3 months, right?
Right. So in game, that was a week
like
and
a week
3
ago.
days or something.
Oh, that's enough time, and enough stuff would have happened. I could have forgotten it. It's fine.
Also, did Udanar even hear it?
Was
Yes,
he in the shop?
Udnar was in the shop with us, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember if it was a thing he said when we set out or when we came back.
It was when he
It
came
was
back.
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm okay
It
with
was-
being forgotten.
In case this spurs anybody's memory, I will say this. It was what he had said in reference to why he was cleaned out.
He said that he made a trade because factors came with a big score. So does Ed have the fucking phylactery?
Well, certainly they wouldn't trade that away, would they? They'd have kept
Well,
it
if a
for
witch
a
is
city.
gonna respawn on it, we'd probably want to get rid of it as quickly as possible.
Well, they couldn't use the phylactery as like a town's ward or something?
I mean, I'm no expert on.
I don't think one of the
phylacteries.
towns around here would want the they would want the Death Singer doing his job.
So if Ed's got the phylactery,
Yeah, I don't think we have a chance of going out and finding Ed necessarily either.
does anyone remember where Ed was going? He didn't really say.
Okay. Let's put a pin in this for a second and quickly talk about ideas about this plague and heading east. Are we still
Yeah.
wanting to do that stuff with Eldrick and meet up with him? I think we
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
should.
I think finding Eldrick is like our best thing we're still heading towards to do.
Yeah.
But
Like the Death Singer being
apparently
gone is
been a year.
bad, but I don't know really what
We
where to
need more
go.
information, for sure. That's
Yeah.
a grander scale than we can worry about right now. Eldrick we can worry about.
Right.
So do you want to
But
head
it's
to
his
Eldrick's Woods?
Well, should we? It's already like through half day already. We should probably spend the night here and start out fresh in the morning.
I'm okay with that.
Don't you think?
All right.
Yeah, because they said it's about a half day's ride, so.
Which probably means a full day's walk.
Didn't I say it was a day's ride?
Oh, maybe.
Which means it's 2 days walking. So I guess we could start out now and just because we won't get there by nightfall.
Yeah, the less time I have to spend in some plagued woods would be better.
Okay, so we can start now.
It would be better to travel while we have the most sunlight available, though. The elders told us to stick to daylight.
So we take a cheap room tonight, get an early start tomorrow.
I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys want to book a room for the night?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That'll be
No extravagance for egg.
4 silver pieces. And that'll get everybody a bed.
All right.
No bath, nothing else.
And this is split 2 rooms.
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking that copper out of the or wait, no, silver. All right, I'm
Mhm.
taking it out of the silver in the pit.
Okay. That'll get everybody a hay cot.
Nice.
Sweet. Okay, so we're ready to have an early start tomorrow morning.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do for the rest of your day in town?
I'd actually like to go to the silversmith
Okay.
and I want to have him take a look at the silver bracelet I found on the bone hand.
Okay.
Before Petalin leaves, I'd like to ask for the astromancy book.
Sure.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go to the room and work on that when we get around to me.
All right. Anybody else? Anything?
I'm going to pray. So when you get around to me, we can do that.
Okay. And Egg.
I would like to ask around about other people seen about that group of factors from the we had talked to yesterday, and if anyone had any idea where they were going.
Roll investigation for me, and I'll get to you when it's your turn.
Yeah, sure.
It's the new gather info. All right. Petalin, you head to the silversmith. To your delight and surprise, it is a small gnome woman.
Hey, all right.
She looks up at you and says, "Oh, you're a tall one."
It's a blessing and a curse, my friend.
Uh-huh. And mixed with something else, I think.
A little something else goes a long way. But I have also come a long way, and I was wondering what you could tell me about this. And I'll pull out the silver bangle and I'll hand it to her.
She takes it from your hands and clicks several little sophisticated-looking, glass lenses over her eyes and starts peering at it. She's like, "Do you mind if I take a hammer to it?"
Oh, be my guest.
Oh, delightful. She scurries off behind her workman's table and pulls out a very small ball-peen hammer and starts tinging at it. And she's like, "Oh, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Where did you say you found this?"
I'd rather not say. It wasn't the most pleasant of places.
Ah, you factors, always scavenging the dead.
Afraid so.
Well, it is unfortunate that you took this, I assume, from a body.
Why?
Oh, well, do you not know what this is?
A silver bangle?
It's much more than that, actually. Much more than that. No, you see, this houses the soul of all of the ancestors of the creature who bore it. And you see, something like this is placed on the wrist of a newborn child, and they grow into it, and they can never remove it. And then upon their death, their ancestor is supposed to take it from them, as it now houses their spirit as well, and then they pass it on to the next. And so you see, this is more of like a royal piece of jewelry that goes with a certain royal bloodline. And so I'm very curious as to where you recovered it, because this could tell us a great deal of information about the history of this place. I mean, if I had to guess, this probably came pre-sundering or something along those lines, but I wouldn't really know, you see, because stuff like this comes in now and then, and take a look at it, but I don't really get a good look at it because I'm not necessarily like magically skilled or anything like that. But the silver work is excellent, even though it's been beaten up and banged up, and who knows how old it really is. And here, all the gems are still housed inside of it. But yeah, just the souls inside. Oh, I'd love to talk to them, but I'm afraid I just can't do that. No, I'm sorry. No, what did you want to sell it?
Actually, I think I will keep it for now, but I very much appreciate your help in identifying it for me. And if I do find any more information about it, I will come back and tell you. I really don't come across interesting pieces of work like this very often, and it's always a pleasure to speak to someone else who has some interest in things like this, and someone else who is like me.
She just talk fast to each other.
She reluctantly hands it over. Like, even as you take it, she is hesitant to really let go of it. She says, you could at least let me keep it for a day, and I could maybe bang some of the dins out."
Oh, that's all right. I do have something else that might interest you, however. I'm going to pull out the pollinator fairy toy husk thing, and I'll hand that to her. It's like, have you ever seen anything like this?
Oh, no, I haven't, but it's excellent craftsmanship.
It's gnomish, isn't it?
It does appear that way, yes.
I was wondering if you could take a look at it for me and see if there was any way to get it started up again. It used to house a little kind of magic battery thing and would whir and be kind of cute like a toy. And
Well, without the source, I don't know what I could do with it.
okay,
I could buy it from you.
well, how much would you offer?
Oh, well, let's see. Silver is my currency, so I could maybe part with a single gold bar.
Out of character, how much is that in gold coins?
250.
I think that's a very fair price for,
Yeah,
for a
so
fellow.
it's a 5-pound brick.
As
I'm
Petalin
gl-
sells away Madame Beldam's token of friendship.
Nonsense. Your token of friendship was helping me not be a puddle anymore.
So you're selling her the fairy cage or
Well,
the
now
fairy
I don't
skeleton?
want to, because Madame Beldam made me feel bad
Hey,
about
I'm
it.
not there.
No, yeah. So 1 gold bar later, you can see the gnome is now peering, like she's flipped down all of the various lenses and is peering very closely at some of the framework, and you hear her muttering things like, "Oh, very interesting," or "intriguing," or "How did they do this?" and "Oh, if I could get my hands on that source." As you're headed out the door, she says, "Oh, one last thing. Don't put it on."
The bracelet?
She's already too busy back working on the little thing.
I nod and I put it back in my pockets.
Has no one commented on her freaky ass eye?
Gnomes are kind when it comes to people's appearances.
And she hasn't been the focus of anybody's attention yet, with the exception of Tulip and Leah.
And we know what they were only after one thing anyway.
They're after like at least 2 things.
They were willing to go with up to 3 things, actually, if I remember correctly. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to Madame Beldam.
All right. I will attempt to open the book.
Give me an Arcana check. I believe it's our. Hold on, before you do that, let me make sure that's what I need. Yes. You managed to get the book open.
And when I open the book, do I see the previous spell I saw before?
Yes.
All right, I guess I'll try and turn further in.
Okay, you managed to do so, and what stares you in the face is just this jarring, gobbled. Just you're going to need to make an Arcana check to decipher the words. Oh, that's good enough. All right.
I don't like that 21 is good enough.
Let me pull up. There we go. There it is. And let me click on share, and then I will screenshot this. And do you want me to send it to you privately or just slap it in the D&D text?
Let's go private.
Okay. And I can give you the actual text of it as well. So you don't have to copy.
And that is interesting. I guess I'll try and read further.
Okay, make another Arcana check. What did you get? I don't have you maximized.
24.
Okay. That is also good enough. Let me chop another one here. And after this, you are going to be too exhausted to progress.
Fair enough.
I'm going to give you 2 parts because it splits the page. 1 and 2. Discovering Gravity Well and Mordrak's Planar Rend.
How much time do we have before evening?
Let's say it's mid to late afternoon. So I'd say you've got several hours before night.
Okay, it would take me 4 hours. Yeah, 2 per
Mm-hmm.
to copy them over.
Yeah. And in copying, I'll need Arcana checks as well.
You're killing me, man.
I know, but it's...
So many rolls.
I know. But you've rolled very well so far.
That's not gonna last. I guess for the sake of time, I would have taken gold from my scholar bag
Yeah.
in the pit.
Yeah. No, I got you. I'm just asking you to go ahead and roll them. That's good. And that's good.
Oh, fuck.
You found all your good rolls.
I know. Where the fuck were... Well, I have +7 to Arcana, so...
Yeah. Okay. Next, let's go with Udanar.
Yeah. So just hanging out probably on the bed or whatever in the room.
Hold on 1 second. I realized last time I actually put these in the D&D chat, so I'm just gonna put them all in the D&D chat because it's not fair that they don't get to see them.
But then I get to use them in combat, and then they're fucking awesome.
That's fine, but they can act surprised. They got to see the other one.
All right.
All right. And then this to add on. And just because you guys should probably see the teaser that I sent. Let's see. I should probably send all these to everybody. So open. Copy. So I just want you guys to be able to see what I sent to Rumble as well. I'm gonna put these in the core group chat.
Oh. That's funny.
Yeah. So, all right, Udanar.
Yeah. Gonna do some
Let's do
praying.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So same rigmarole as always, holding on to the thing, closing eyes, meditating, all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just gonna see who I'm talking to, I guess, first before I try to formulate something.
Okay. As you spin the coin and wait for it to stop, it eventually does, very slowly, almost hesitant, and it lands on the quill.
On the quill.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. What information do I need to know to get through the plague eastern woods?
Well, as you should know, without seeing it, there's not much I can tell you. I'm not as omniscient as you might think.
Have you encountered, heard, or know of any illness that just wounds continuously form?
Yes.
will you impart that knowledge on me?
What have you done to deserve that knowledge?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a thing here.
Sure.
I'm just getting mixed up in my head of what Thane knew and what I know.
Yeah.
Problem with two characters.
Ugh. I can taste steroids.
Ew.
Poor thing.
Yeah, having to put these eye drops in, and after a little bit, I can taste it.
I guess the most important thing is I've gained some knowledge on the possible whereabouts of the Death Singer, bringing me closer to finding out more about that situation.
And since your freedom from that hell pit from whence you were trapped, and thus unable to commune with us for that 100 years, this is, by the way, the first time you have actually heard how long you were stuck.
Oh, okay.
What knowledge have you gleaned that would make it worthy for me to impart this information on you? The whereabouts of the Death Singer is no concern to me. You know what it is that I seek.
I have learned about a powerful weapon of a deity and the runes on which it manifests its powers.
Do go on. You have my attention.
We are that is to say, my group and I, they are wizards and magic users of sorts, seeking this power for themselves for whatever means they seek it for, but I've been learning slowly but surely what these runes mean, and I am on the path of knowing what this weapon could do.
And you say a weapon of a deity. Have you any idea which?
I believe it's Mordrak. I'm just flipping through notes.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I have a page for every session.
You should
More
have a
drafting.
OneNote. OneNote is great.
Yeah.
As you utter that name in your head, you feel a shiver run down your entire body that you know is not your own. And it's just like ooh, say it again.
Mufasa!
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of too.
Oh, me too.
So yeah, just like long drawn out like Mordrak.
There's a noteworthy pause before the response comes back. And what connection do these spellcasters in your group have to this being?
That's yet to be determined. The little one, however, seems to have a tighter connection.
Most interesting. And what would you say you know of this being? The deity and the little one.
Not enough of either.
Very well. Still, you've intrigued me. As such, I will impart some knowledge. Yes, there are a great many curses that have plagued a great many lands across all of time as we know it. Many of which were wounds that simply did not heal but festered, as though a plague had fallen upon them. Though without seeing it, I couldn't tell you the source. Odds are that there is some creature, being, or magical item that is the root of all of this, and should you find it and destroy it, so too will its plague cease to exist. In the meantime, should you encounter the plague itself, I do not know, but it is possible that we could grant you the power to abate its growth, if not halt it. Who knows that the magic users that you encountered earlier this very day are just simply not capable of the magic powerful enough to do so. We certainly know not their names.
Indeed. Well, as your vessel, I will be powerful enough to do it. If you would grant me the knowledge for it.
One should certainly hope so. Else we may have made a grave decision.
Nice, by the way, the pun.
Your head goes silent.
I mean, that was
Other
to
than
you.
other than your own thoughts. No, I know.
Okay.
Can I
All
ask a clarification on planar rend?
Yes.
Does it deal damage on cast as well, or just when they start their turn in there?
Just when they start their turn, I think.
Okay.
I have to read it again. It looks like, as worded, it's when they start their turn.
Okay.
Yeah, creatures that begin their turn within the area of effect.
I didn't know if opening the area of effect would cause it as well, and then when they start. But
No,
Good to
no double tap. That would imbalance the spell's damage. Okay, Egg. Last but not least,
Yes.
you are looking for information regarding the 4 factors that you encountered last night that the group believes are connected in some way to the House of Scales. What kinds of questions or information would you be hoping to find out?
What they're here for and where they might be going. Are
Hmm.
they what they've been interested in and their future plans.
Sure. So the core response that you seem to be getting from those who have an inclination, and again, what you're encountering is it seems like everybody in the village knows everybody, despite it being significantly larger than your standard village. So they're like, oh yeah, we know of them. For the most part, they keep to themselves. They seem to be mostly skulkers, not necessarily up to anything shady so much as just like they avoid people. They don't want to talk to anybody. Even when we wave and say hello, they don't return the wave or nod or their greeting in any form. They come and go from the town every couple of days, and for the most part are just asking for leads on any sort of relics, as factors might. But there's one question peculiar that or one question in particular that we find peculiar, and they keep asking us to the nature of the magic of our elders and whether or not we've heard of anybody else in the area that casts can cast healing magic. Though I suppose with them wanting to go off east, it makes sense that they might be interested in healing magic.
Gotcha.
Do you have any follow-ups?
How long have they been around?
A few weeks.
And does anyone know where they originally came from?
They arrived by boat.
By boat.
It was a strange boat, according to the dock workers.
Strange how?
It had no sails, but moved as though it did. And when they disembarked, they didn't see any crew, but the boat itself did just return to sea. One of the workers swears he saw spectral wings. Well, no, he doesn't say spectral. He says see-through.
Mhm.
All leathery-like, but see-through.
Okay. Okay. I think I can't think of anything else to ask.
Okay. Well, then everybody returns. Oh, yay. Saber's got a shutout.
Against
Yeah.
who? Who are they playing?
The Yotes.
Yeah.
But Darlene and Skinner got their first goals of the season.
Woohoo!
All right. So everybody kind of meets up back at the tavern. You guys have your rooms paid for. Does anybody want any drink or food?
Are we gonna buy a cask for the road? We're gonna get a big roadie.
Yeah, just,
Surprisingly, when you ask if Egg wants a drink, he says, "Oh no, I don't drink."
Yeah. So what you had last night, and actually, as you return, the barkeep waves you over, and smiling real big and broad, and he says, "Now that 2 silver you left on the bar, that'll cover the damages of the room. But boy, am I glad I'm not my daughter and that I didn't have to clean up the mess you left." He says, "You're a brave or a stupid man taking that shot, and I admire you." What you've noticed throughout the day is that you're able to just keep down anything and everything you've eaten. It's almost as though your entire system was just cleaned out, top to bottom.
Almost.
Other than the other than the headache, you're just as light as a feather. But yeah. Anybody else as you gather at the table for your second, or I suppose this will be one of your last nights in Treetop?
I tell them about the plague and how it seems like it might be less of a problem than it seems. The healers here might just not be powerful enough to counteract it, but it sounds also like it might be a magical nature emanating from a thing. So that might be something to look out for, especially with all this talks of a horse or a steed or whatever, and to watch out for one.
All right. Well,
Yeah, we're heading into a dense forest, though. But
we'll just have to travel slowly and just try not to stub
Yep.
our toes on anything.
Yep, just care needs to be taken. But yeah,
look, just make sure you tuck your pants into your socks,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and everything will be fine. Check for ticks. Butt checks every night.
All right. Anybody else?
I'll go to the innkeep
Mm-hmm.
and would like to purchase a 20-gallon barrel of ale
Okay.
and then ask for a wake-up call at dawn.
Okay. 20 gallons. That'll be. All right, give me 1 second here. Where did my expenses go? Excuse me.
You added me to a Discord group?
Yeah, so you'll understand in a minute.
Okay.
Where did my adventuring gear go? 2 times 20, 40. 5 gold.
No, easy enough.
Mm-hmm. And he wants to know if you'll need, basically a tap and mugs. And if you want to stand.
We can do without the stand. A tap and mugs would be nice.
All right. That'll add another 5 silver.
Easy enough. It's marked down.
Okay. So you now have a 20-gallon barrel of ale, and 4 mugs and a tap.
Udinar, can you come carry this to the room?
Yep.
All right. That gets done. Who's staying where? There's 2 rooms.
Girls and guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and move this to a rest. And unless you guys have anything in particular that you want to take care of during this rest, then
I'd like the madam to ritual cast identify on my bangle, please.
Can do.
okay. So as you cast
Let's just
identify,
Pop it in there.
yeah. Basically what you'll learn is that it is an object that basically upon the moment of death pulls all the user's memories or all the wearer's memories into it. It doesn't actually house the soul, but once it's on you, it kind of locks in, and you can tap into the wisdom of everybody within it, but you have to match the bloodline. Basically, you have to be a DNA match, I should say.
Hmm.
Does it reveal the bloodline that it was part
No.
of?
No,
Okay.
that's beyond the power of the spell identify. Rather, I guess I could say it. In order to attune to it, you must be of the bloodline.
Would I know like what magical rarity this type of item would be?
It'd be rare.
Okay.
You know what? I might go talk to the bartender again.
Okay.
And I want to ask him about the battlefield that we passed through.
What about it?
Who were the combatants?
He says that I couldn't tell you anything, miss. That's been there longer than I have.
Who might know?
Beats me. Do I look like a historian?
Do you have a town historian?
We're a village, miss. It's a miracle we have what we have.
Okay. I go to bed.
Okay. Alright. Then anybody doing anything special for their night?
Egg will focus on the ring just to make sure there's nothing else to it.
Which ring?
I guess the ring of the raccoon.
Oh, okay. No, I gave you guys all of the properties for that because I had lost it originally, remember?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I did give you guys the full properties of it, I think. Let me look.
Okay.
Ring of the raccoon.
You could attune to it though, if you haven't. I
Yeah,
don't remember.
Yeah. So the ring of the raccoon, it gives you dark vision out to 45 feet, and ability checks made in the dark are or rather wisdom checks, I think, made in the dark are made at advantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay.
But you have to be in darkness for that to take effect, and you have to be attuned.
Okay.
All right.
So I guess I'll focus on the bell staff just to make sure I've.
What do you
exhausted
have on
one
that?
instead. The last thing I got was the lunging attack.
Deals an additional 1d4 damage on thunder damage on hit. On critical, deals 2d6 thunder damage in addition to regular
Yeah.
weapon damage. 2d6 or 2d8, depending on, and then plus 2d6 thunder. Once per short rest, may perform the lunging attack maneuver. Nope,
Yep.
that's it.
Okay, cool.
All right. So you spend your evening ensuring that you know everything everything there is to know about the White Steel Crozier. Anybody else?
Can I focus on the silver bangle to see if I can learn anything else about it?
Identify gives you like
Just everything.
Yeah.
Why didn't I look at the body?
Because it was buried in rock, and we were.
I didn't want it to
afraid of
rise up and try to
zombies.
eat us, you know.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's probably human anyway.
I'd like to dig through all the treasure and nonsense we have and see if there is a opal anywhere in there.
Wasn't there one? I thought I gave you one, didn't I?
That was a diamond I needed.
And Chain's sword had the pearls, but now your tiara also has pearls. I'm gonna let you choose black, gold, or gray. Actually, you know what? Sorry, you rolled a 12. I'm gonna let you choose between black or gold.
Give me that gold.
No opal.
Lame.
All right. Everybody else down for the night?
Yep.
Okay.
We lock our door.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and set up another tiny servant trap.
Okay. Anything else?
Unless Egg locks the door, I am sleeping.
Okay. What happens if he locks the door?
Well, then he locks it.
Oh.
I'm just saying I didn't lock the door because I didn't care enough.
That's not how that came across to me.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like, I'm sleeping unless he locks the door. Well, what happens if he locks it?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. All right. Then it seems like everybody's done for their evening, and everybody goes down for the night, and your nights pass restfully and largely uneventfully, with the exception of Madame Beldam. I have sent you the information you need, and now you should understand why I made that group chat. Yes?
Yeah, why not just DM it to me though?
So that it doesn't get lost.
No, I keep them all in my notes.
Oh, I didn't know. It was easier for me to do this because now I can just look this up. Okay. So while Rumble goes over that, everybody wakes the next morning and everybody feels nice and refreshed. What is the goal for today?
We are heading east.
Okay,
towards
on foot?
the, forest.
On foot.
Before we leave town, I want to stop by that jeweler.
Okay, the silversmith?
Yeah, and inquire if they have any opals.
Okay. So you go to the silversmith and ask for an opal. She pulls out several drawers of just various small gemstones. She says, "How big do you need?"
Something that would run about 100 gold.
Let me see what I have. Black, gold, or gray?
Gold burnt me last time. Gray.
She pulls out a pretty sizable opal and says, "This ought to do it, right?"
Looking at it is a pearlescent opal.
It is. It is white with that natural rainbow sheen.
And that should, well, I guess I don't know much about gems.
Oh, it's
What do we like?
about this, a little bit smaller than a golf ball.
I mean, that's pretty sizable.
Yeah, she's like, I could let this one go for 250 gold. I don't have anything smaller, unless you want to go real small. She holds up her little finger and says, about the size of my nail here.
The big one will do.
All right, 250 gold opal.
Sorry,
What
where are
did-
we?
We have a
where
lot
did we
of-
stop?
Do you have the gold for that? Because I could pay for it with this gold bar.
if you want to. I was gonna try and clear up like we just have a random 100 gold from rust monsters laying around in the pit.
Oh, yeah.
We can clean that up. Just at 250.
Mm-hmm.
So then that would be another 3 pounds off the chest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Pedalin, your gold bar came in like a nice little cloth bag.
Ooh. I guess so. I guess I keep this for now. I keep the gold bar. Is that what I'm
Right.
hearing?
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are heading east on foot. Madame Beldam now
I had a
sporting
question for.
oh,
I had a question for the jeweler,
silversmith.
Silversmith. I asked her if she knows anything about the worn out battlefield to the west.
Oh, I'm afraid not. It's been here a very, very, very long time. Very, 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 very long. Before Treetop even.
Do you know of anybody who might know about it?
Oh, the Death Singer.
Hmm.
Oh, the irony. I love it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
When we're in her shop, do I see that little thing that Fedalin gave her? Or sold her?
No, she'd probably have that in the back, tinkering with it.
Okay. Interesting.
She hasn't quite sated her own personal desire with it yet, so it wouldn't be up front for anything.
Sure.
Everything up front's for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Pedalin knew how much joy it would bring her as a gnome.
All right. Otherwise, heading out, off to see the wizard,
Off to see the wizard,
Mm-hmm.
the wonderful wizard of the woods.
as it were.
Because. Okay. All right. So, couple of days later. Oh, by the way, are you doing anything with this ring of yours, Rumble?
I don't have a way to enchant it, so
Well, what are you thinking you need to do?
well, you said it's waiting for a magical effect.
Uh-huh.
So I'm assuming-
Maybe try touching it to. Oh, you know what? I meant to give you this. I'll give it to you on your first night on the road. All right, so you guys head out on the road. Your first night comes and goes. You are still under the protection of Treetop for the most part. You know that the active you've seen a few active patrollers every once in a while. They come up onto the road to basically greet you as travelers, and you got that whole friendly Treetop vibe going on, and they're just like, hail traveler, blah blah blah. Do you have anything, any news to share about the road or any news from Treetop, blah blah blah. Just kind of passing along some gossip. If you wanted, you could ask questions of them, but for the most part, they just kind of, their presence lets you know that you are largely safe on the road. Okay, with no questions being asked, you guys make it to your first night of camp. Everything gets set up, standard stuff, except now you've got a couple of tents. So for real tents this time, and everybody gets ready to set up for the night. Are you going to make a fire?
I think since we're still under the protection of Treetop at this point, we may as well.
Yeah.
We're not into the dangerous woods.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
I would be afraid that we might be. We're heading this way. That other group of factors might also be heading this way. So we might want to be on the lookout for them. Just as a heads up.
Okay. Was that a protest to the fire or just
Yeah,
something? Oh.
partially, yes, but I'm fine with the fire if the rest of the group wants it. Just letting them know the
Yeah, I want the
possible reason
fire.
we wouldn't want it.
Okay. So the fire is ablaze. The tents are up. These are two-person tents, but I don't think Egg and Udinar can share because it's really an Udinar-sized tent.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, we
Pedal-
really should have thought about that.
yeah. But Pedalin is small, so she and Noodles could share.
Okie dokie.
So Pedalin and Noodles and Egg and Madame Beldam can bunk up. Otherwise, should be good. What's the watch order?
I will go first.
I'll go second.
I will go third.
I'll go fourth.
Okay. Wow.
Ow.
So I need perceptions from everybody then.
Oh, okay.
Using a luck on that.
Over dinner, Pedalin
keep
will
the first
regale the
one.
group with funny anecdotes about
Okay.
gnomes.
Like what? Give me one.
So over dinner, Pedalin speaks very rapidly and is very difficult to track or understand as she talks about gnomes.
Cool. All right.
Now that y'all have met a tinker gnome,
I love this
but
idea
basically
that,
trying to
like, you
Go
know,
ahead.
when people that are from an area, like, say, Scottish people or whatever, they move to the States, and then they're normal talking until they talk to another Scotsman, and then they go back into, like, crazy Scottish territory again. I like that gnomes
Yeah.
are basically that.
That's exactly what it is.
How's that boar meat holding up?
I think it's seen better days. I would not eat it.
Okay. I'll just dump the rest of it then at that point.
Good thing we all have rations.
You should have gentle reposed it.
Yeah, no
Oh my
kidding.
god.
Okay, so that's going on. I have perception. I need Egg's perception check,
Yeah, sorry.
and the order is.
We had another night in the inn, so I gotta
Yes.
do these.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna replace mine with that 12.
Okay. Okay. Then in that case, all right. So it's Pedalin, or rather, it's Madame Beldam, Pedalin, Egg Udonar. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, Madame Beldam, as you sit on watch, you idly tend to the fire and otherwise just keep an eye on things. For the most part, feeling safe. Let me do this. No. This. Excuse me. There we go. Largely feeling safe and near the road, especially being near the road. The sky is empty, the night is chill and crisp and brisk, and you can see that many of the leaves, or the trees with leaves that change colors, are beginning to change colors in yellow. The moon is high overhead and full, and through your watch during the evening, you just you spot several animals that are heading from east to west, moving through the woods themselves. And like they keep a wide berth of the fire, they keep a wide berth of the road, but it is in fact a large number of animals that like worthy of notice anyhow, that are making that sort of migration. But otherwise, nothing eventful.
And they're normal animals, not undead animals.
They appear to be normal.
And what were you going to say about the ring?
Oh, I'm gonna wait for you to be asleep.
Lovely. Okay.
All right.
I guess during my watch, I can. It's been a day, so I can try on the book again.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to open it.
That's open.
Go to the next section.
That's
I'm gonna
enough.
look it up. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's the next roll to go another page after.
Okay. Then that will give you the next spell, which is one that you were looking for. Let's see how right you were. And for everyone else. Okay. And that will take its toll. That's as far as you can get.
Only one more page?
Hmm?
Because that would have been open next page and then next page.
Oh, I know. I'm basing it off of your rolls.
Okay.
All right. So you make it in. You discover that spell, and then your watch is over, and you go wake Petalin.
I'll let her know that a large number of animals seem to be migrating away from the direction we're heading.
Well, that's understandable. They're probably trying to avoid the very thing that we're going to go meet.
Okay. Petalin, on your watch, you encounter much the same as Madame Beldam, just a large number of creatures that are moving through the woods at night. Again, they keep a wide berth of camp. Even several large predators you spot, just staying clear of you and the fire. At one point, several birds land nearby, just in the trees, and seem to be watching you before taking flight a few moments later and going off into the night. However, as they alight, you feel as though a pair of eyes are just watching you, but no matter which direction you turn, you can't see them. Otherwise, your watch comes to an uneventful end, and you go to wake Egg.
Kind of tell him to be wary.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling of being watched.
Sure.
Great.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Egg is just having heard that, he's just going to focus on his watch and paying attention to stuff and no distractions.
Okay. Let me pull something up real quick. Really? I thought for sure. Oh. I was looking at the wrong type. That would be why. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so through your watch with your perception, there it is. Again, much the same thing. It's a great migration of animals, all heading west or east to west, all fleeing the approaching plague, as it were. However, at one point during the camp, you notice a small mound of dirt just moving in your general direction. It occasionally stops and then like circles the fire and then goes onward, but then comes back to the fire and circles around it, and then it like heads off in another random direction. But a few minutes later, it comes back and begins to circle the fire, and eventually the moving mound of earth just stops.
Okay.
Do you do anything?
No. Definitely watching it though.
Mm-hmm.
And I ready a weapon in case it attacks.
Okay.
Just a hand axe though.
Sure. Make another perception check for me. Very, very faintly. In fact, you aren't quite sure you hear it. It almost sounds like there is a keening sound. Maybe coming from underground. Not sure how you might intend to listen better if you wanted to, but definitely heard something along those lines.
I guess I just keep waiting for it to start moving again.
It doesn't seem to be. After maybe another 20 minutes, you see it heads off like south from the fire, almost straight toward you. But just goes under and past you.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe 10 minutes later, it seems to circle back, comes back in, spins around the fire. So now there's like 8 rints of dirt that have been kicked up underneath, and it has stopped again.
I guess I lean in close to see if I can hear anything.
Like put your ear to the ground, or?
Yeah.
Okay. You put your ear to the ground and make a perception check at advantage. Yeah, that's fine. You hear just this low, keening, sad cry, almost like a puppy.
Crying is not what I expected to hear. I attempt to gently dig out the spot where it's the dispelled dirt stopped.
Okay. All right. Give me just a moment. I gotta pull up the thing. All right. So you use the new shovel, the recently acquired shovel.
I was gonna do it with my hands to be a little gentler.
Sure. So you dig in with your hands, and pretty quickly you feel something hard. And like as your hands close around it, you can feel it squirming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you pull it out?
I attempt to pull it out very slowly.
With very little resistance, out pops a small grayish brown, almost like a copper or bronze creature. It's got like armored plates on its back and several scales, and you can see that it's got long claws for digging, and like just a small little green eye that looks at you, green eyes that look at you in a panic. It is about this, and about that size actually compared to the tent.
Oh, so it's pretty hefty.
Maybe a little smaller.
Does it appear injured at all?
No, it doesn't appear injured. It just, like, as it looks at you, it kind of stops and curls itself into a ball as tightly as it can, and lets out that same keening cry and howl. In fact, everybody make a perception check. It's much louder. Udinar and Madame Beldam will awaken to the sound. You are now holding a small baby creature. In fact, you've encountered a much larger one of these before. You saw it got eaten, or you saw it get eaten when you were on the road with Summer and your 2 Silent Sun companions.
Mm-hmm.
It appears to be a juvenile.
I believe this child has lost. He's lost. I
Well,
attempted
we
to
don't want its
feed
mother finding us.
it a good berry.
It sniffs at the fruit, and then looks at you and turns its head.
All right. I eat the good berry then instead.
It tastes like a delicious good berry.
Hmm. Oh, I feel so refreshed. Yeah, it was hiding here, crying. I didn't really know what to do. I just wanted to know what it was. And now I do.
Are you still holding it?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm cradling it.
Yeah.
I attempt to feed it a ration.
It hungrily eats the meat from your rations,
Gotcha.
but veggies are not food.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Guessing
Well,
I don't know
I'll
what
just-
it is.
You do not know what it is.
I tell Udinar we saw a larger one of this killed and eaten by an even larger creature a while back.
So why do you have one? Just in
It
general.
just showed up here. I don't really know what to do with it.
What is it?
I don't really know, other
You can
than
make-
that I've seen it before. Okay, I can do a
Intelligence check.
intelligence check.
Mm-hmm. No, that answer stands.
Yeah.
No, Madame Beldam isn't familiar either. Pedalin's still sleeping soundly.
Banana pancakes.
Pancakes.
Probably not good to keep in camp.
Probably not good to keep at all. How big do they get?
Pretty big.
What I figured.
Large enough for a man to ride comfortably.
Give them ambitions.
No, just giving you like they're bigger than horses when they're fully grown.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will continue to hold this thing unless it wants to leave for now.
Well, now that you've fed it, it has mostly calmed down and stopped squirming.
Yeah.
And if you're holding it cradled, you can see that it seems to have fallen asleep.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. It's not making noise anymore. It's more what I was concerned about.
You're not bringing that thing into the tent.
Okay.
And I'm going to go back into the tent and then just toss his bedroll out. Of the tent.
Hey, give me my pillow too.
A pillow hurls through the tent flap.
Yeah, let's say make a dexterity saving throw, Egg.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the pillow soars into the flames.
No.
Okay, I gotta at least make a strength roll.
No, it's a pillow. You can hurl a pillow pretty far without trying.
It's
I
true.
got -1 strength though.
That just means that you're below average. I know toddlers can throw pillows.
Poor pillow. One day away from retirement.
Yeah.
And the fire burns an extra 3 minutes.
If that.
Goodbye, pillow. Now
All
Egg is
right,
crying silently to himself.
All right. The remainder of your watch passes, and you go to wake Udanar.
Yep.
I'll hand you my pillow to sleep with while I watch.
Do you want to take this creature? I don't know what to do with it.
Just put it in the fire or something.
Okay. Eggs is not going to give Udanar. He just puts it down.
Just
next
put
to
it down
him
somewhere.
It curls into you
himself.
as seeking your warmth as well as
Yeah.
that of the fire.
Mhm.
All right. Noodles, your watch goes largely uneventfully. As the sun begins to rise, the mass migration of creatures slows. And eventually the sun has reached its peak. Now give me a second. I need to pull Rumble down so that I can have the conversation I need to have with him.
All right.
So you're gonna just raise that to basically be your mount, right?
I guess.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Out of character, I have animal handling, so
I mean, I can
we
literally
could probably
talk to
make it
animals.
work. I think we should. I think we should keep it.
Okay. Egg definitely does not have animal handling.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. My character's race can, like, animals can just understand what I say.
Gotcha.
So it's fine. I'm sure it'll work out. And if it doesn't, we'll kill it and eat it. Good time.
Uh-huh. It's like armored though.
Yeah, which just means
like
it's more
eating an
delicious. Have you ever had
armadillo.
crab?
That's
All
an
right.
exoskeleton. That's different.
That's true.
Everybody's awake now.
Yep.
So I'm going to get your direction moving here, and then we're actually going to go ahead and call the session because we're pretty close to the end, and I don't want us to get stuck in combat or something.
Sure.
But it seems like the goal is going to be one more day on the road, and then you'll be at Eldrick's Woods. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So then we'll just go ahead and do that rest and end it there. So let me just go ahead and roll my rest dice. And
I'll roll you
Okay.
my perception as well.
yeah. What do you do with the creature through the day? Like, do you put it on the ground and try to leave it, or do you are you taking it with you? What?
Yeah, I let it on the ground and let it do what it wants to do.
Okay. It seems content to stay at the camp. But as you break camp, you'll notice about an hour or so later, there is a small trail of disturbed earth following maybe, 10 meters behind you.
Pretty cute.
Oh, it's so precious. Can we name it?
When you stop, it stops.
Uh-huh. I'm content with that relationship for now.
Okay. All right. So you'll reach the edge of Eldrick's Woods, and I'm going to give you guys this description, and then we'll set up camp, and that'll be that for the session. Where do we go? Oh, there we go. All right. So the first signs that you're getting closer to Eldrick's Woods are not those that you would normally expect. The first thing that sticks out to you is that nearby, there are just lots of dead plants, just dead or decaying or in a state of death. But I mean, maybe only 20% of what you see is dead, which is still a large amount, but not everything. And then as the day grows longer and longer and starts to get closer and closer to dark, it grows more and more, and that rot, death, and decay. And eventually, as you reach as you reach the end of your traveling day, and you believe that you have reached the entrance of Eldrick's Woods, what you see in front of you is just an entire wasteland of dead forest. There are no leaves on the trees. There is no grass. There are dead animals, just like, and I mean recently dead animals. And those that were already dead have risen and begun to walk and wander. You see them bearing just even small scratches or other wounds that have just grown and festered. Like a small scratch on the side of a deer has these like just red infected veins running across the entire body of the creature, and yet it's up and walking around with that same listlessness of the dead that you saw previously. And as I had mentioned already, not a single tree, not a single bush, not a single blade of grass is left living. And you feel that you have indeed reached the place that you had intended to reach.
Well,
The creature still travels with you, staying about 10 paces or 10 meters behind whoever is furthest back.
So we're setting up camp here.
It is the end of your traveling day.
Okay, I want to take the meat out of some rations and use animal handling to try and lure the little creature out of the ground again.
As you approach it, it seems to be backing up.
Oh well, I'll put a little meat ration on the ground and walk off.
Okay. You see the meat just like disappear underneath the earth a few minutes later.
So, Egg, what are you gonna name it?
I don't. I don't know. Name things based on where they lived and what they did where I came from. So follower would be my first.
Oh, follower! It's so cute.
Udanar, you are lighting up like a beacon.
yep.
Hundreds and hundreds.
I guess we're setting up camp here.
Yeah.
Do you build a fire?
Well, I think we ought to because the animals avoided it last night.
Yeah.
And so I think it kind of helps ward them away.
Surrounded by the undead, I feel like we should have a fire, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any objections? Doesn't sound like it.
Nope.
Okay, so you guys set up a fire. Shortly after it's built, the small tunnel of earth moves towards it, circles the fire, and then stops moving. All right, first rest. Give me that perception check. All right, Madame Beldam. So throughout your watch, there is the eerie and uncomfortable stillness of death all around you. There are no leaves for which the wind could rattle with, among the trees. There are no birds to chirp, and even the occasional festering, rotted creature you see seems to steer widely clear of the fire itself. However, there is a point through your watch, maybe an hour or so in, that you feel eyes, intelligent eyes, just boring into the back of you. And as you turn to look, for the briefest of moments, you catch a glimpse of what looks to be a large cat, but it disappears into the dead brush almost as quickly as it appeared. Excuse you.
And then it barked.
Molly doesn't like cats.
No. He sonic raped her out of her bed. Anyhow, so that feeling comes and passes. You catch that glimpse, and then later toward the end of your watch, as you stand up to go wake Petalin, It happens again, this time on the other side of camp, and you turn your head to look, and just the briefest of glimpses of a beast, of a cat, like almost as large as a horse, and you swear you saw stripes, but again, it's there, and then it's not. You gently shake Petalin awake.
Prior to the first eyes,
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and open the book again.
Okay. Yes. 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 Okay. All right. That's going to be this one. And this is going to be all you get. I'll put that there and there.
Oh boy. And then I'm going to take the bell from the burgle kit and cast Tiny Servant on it
Okay.
and give it instructions to make a ton of noise by jumping and shaking around if anything enters within our camp.
Okay.
And I will wake Petalin and let her know that something is watching us.
The tiny servant begins to shake and make tons of noise.
We'll wake Petalin faster.
Yeah. No, she's awake and she comes
Oh,
out
okay.
and then it starts shaking and making noise and waking everyone up.
So what's all the noise about?
As
Something's
the-
in the camp.
Yeah, we're in camp.
I'm gonna look at the tiny servant.
Mhm. It's pelvic thrusting as hard as it can.
If anything enters camp except for the four of us.
And
It-
follower.
It's
Oh,
still
yeah, and the thing under the dirt.
It stops ringing.
All right, false alarm.
Uh-huh.
Everybody tries to get back to sleep. Pedal in. Perception check, please.
Okay.
Okay. Throughout the duration of your watch, it's much the same. It's just this eerie stillness of death. No whispering creatures, no rustling leaves, no night birds hunting. Just the occasional crunch as something steps on a dead twig or a dead branch, or but no cries, no calls, no sounds. You do feel for a moment a pair of eyes that are watching you, and as you turn to look, you catch a glimpse of a large striped cat. But the moment that you meet eyes with it, you just lose it. It loses focus, and you can't see it anymore. That happens 2 more times throughout the duration of your watch. But now it's time to wake Egg.
I'll wake Egg, tell him about the cat, and tell him that follower is still okay, and you might want to check on him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Egg, anything doing on your watch?
I guess I'm a little nervous about digging out follower because of all the undead around.
Mhm.
So I
You
think
can
I'll
leave
just
him
leave
where he
another
is. Just
leave
maybe
another
feed
ration.
him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Throughout the duration of your watch, the ration stays untouched. But all this talk of cats, you see no such thing. And
Okay.
it's time to wake Udanar.
All right, I gotta wake Udanar
Okay.
and let him
Okay.
know that I put a ration down for follower, but that it has not been eaten.
Okay.
So you go out, you see a scrap of meat next to the fire. And you
Okay.
already rolled your perception.
I did.
So much the same as Madame Beldam and Petalin, throughout the duration of your watch, you occasionally catch a glimpse of a large striped cat.
When I do, I'm going to close my eyes, say a little prayer, and see if that has any effect.
There are several thuds.
Okay.
By which I mean hundreds of thuds, probably. Well, maybe like upwards of like 20 or 30 thuds.
Okay.
Or aren't they turned to dust if they're destroyed?
Yeah. I think.
Okay, well then no thuds, just like the and the air is a cloud of ashy dust within 30 feet of you.
And then after that, I just want to like keep an eye out and see if I see a cat still.
Okay. Yeah, no, it pops up again.
I'm gonna take the ration, the meat, and throw it in the direction where the cat is.
Okay.
And just see if I can
Make a ranged attack.
Oh.
Or
Okay.
are you throwing it like at the cat or just in that direction?
Just in that direction. I kind of
okay,
like
so
where there's some light. I kind of want to see if I could get a better look at this thing.
okay. So you just toss meat out there. Well, the only thing you're even seeing is the reflection of the firelight off of its eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And like you catch the very faintest glimpse of its body, but it being dark and you not having night vision, you don't get a clear look whatsoever.
Do I hear it go for the meat?
So you toss the meat out there, and it's outside of the torchlight.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
But you don't hear anything. It doesn't. You don't. Otherwise.
Let's do this just for the hell of it. After
So there's nothing within 30 feet of you.
Yeah.
But there are things outside of 30 feet.
Yeah.
from 31 to 60.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I figured.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's
And
it.
then otherwise the sun rises and the stench of death and decay is still there, and everybody starts to wake up. And this is where we're going to end session.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I want everybody to know that you have enough experience to level up.
Woo!
Yes.
It should be exactly enough plus 50, I believe. Since Lizard isn't here, I don't have to worry about him being behind. So I know that it's level up plus 50 experience for everybody.
Okay.
So go ahead and be leveled and ready for next session. And any questions, comments, concerns you have regarding that, you can drop to me. When are we playing next? So there are 3 weeks before Suzanne and I go and get married, and we will be gone for a week. So we can. I'm good to play on the 20th, 27th, or 3rd.
Sure. I should be okay for next week. And then after that, I will be okay every day for the rest of my life until I say otherwise.
Hold on 1 second, because I think I heard what you said, but it didn't process because my Discord cut out.
If there's any problem at all I would have, it would be next week. But then after that, I would be available whenever.
Okay, so do you have an issue with next week, as in we won't bank on it, or you might have an issue next week?
It all depends on how this week goes, frankly.
Okay, so then let's bank on not playing this coming weekend, and we'll try to squeeze 2 sessions in back to back, the weekend after and the weekend after. So that would be the 27th and the 3rd.
Okay.
Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Because then we're gonna have another 2-week hiatus because we're gonna be gone on the 10th, and I get back on the 15th. I'm not gonna play on the 17th.
Totally. Yep.
So then it would be the 24th. So we could, I know the direction that the game's going to take from here for a good chunk out, unless you guys just do something monumentally surprising.
Right.
Which I will not count out, but with chain gone, it's less likely. So otherwise, yeah, we'll plan on 2 weeks from now and then a week after that. So the 27th and the 3rd.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then
Okay.
also, I wanted to say this before Rumble rolled it, but he already rolled it. So I was talking with some other GMs, and I heard a rather interesting take on rolling hit dice, and I liked it, and so I wanted to propose it to you guys. What their group does is they roll their hit die, and then the GM rolls their hit die, and then you get to choose if you want to take yours or the GM's, but you don't get to know the GM's roll until
Ooh.
after you choose.
Fucking give it to me because I rolled a 1.
Well, I'm not going to do that for everybody unless everybody wants it.
I'm kind of
carried away.
indifferent. Yeah.
I mean, it's just something extra for you guys. It's a decision you make. So yes or no from the group will move that forward. Because if you don't want it, you could just say yes and then always take your roll.
Right.
That's
I'm
true.
for it because, like, you might as well just use it if you just roll a 1 because it can't really get worse than that.
So is that a yes from everybody? Do I hear any no's? I don't hear any no's. All right.
No knows.
No knows.
Knows.
Okay. I'll do Rumbles first. All right. So yours or mine?
Yours?
I rolled a 1.
Oh, God fucking damn.
All right. Who's next?
Nothing changes.
Since you're leveling up, you may as well roll your hit dice here. Somebody roll. Just do your short rest hit dice. Same.
Yeah.
All right. You want yours or mine?
I'll take mine.
Okay. Susanna?
I'm just supposed to roll a d6, right?
No, just roll your hit dice. It's
Okay.
the one that says hit dice.
Yeah. I'll take mine.
Okay. You didn't even wait for me to roll, but all right. And then
That's
Paul,
pretty good.
Why am I rolling hit dice?
because you're leveling up.
Oh, right. Okay.
I figure we do it now. That way you can have that all ready to go.
Now we add this to our hit points, right?
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Do you want mine or yours?
I'll take mine.
Okay. All right, then that's going to do it. Any questions, comments, concerns before we go?
No.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. Then everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Later, guys.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye,
GG.
guys.
Good times.
Bye.